So the vampire club culture of Tampa in the mid-90s, so famous that SNL even did a spoof on it with that guy. What's his name? With the talking kind of funny. Jeff Goldblum. Know your Jews, right? Econ, know your Jews. But it's a cool skit. I'm going to try to find it and put it in the description box, but no promises there. My girlfriend at the time was very into the vampire culture. And what these nerds would do, they would put white makeup all over their faces, be real pale, put on fake vampire teeth, dress in black. The goth culture unwinding from The Cure, kind of Crown Prince of Sorrow, just this sorrowful whichever, and they'd suck each other's blood and all that other good stuff. Now, myself being a jock, I wasn't into that scene, nor the Magic the Gathering scene, and as a result, I wasn't able to express myself well because I didn't want to participate in that, but my girl did. So she would go to those clubs, and I think it was part and parcel to her breakup. She dug the scene and even stayed in that area later on when I moved away and then came back. I don't know. I mean, it's a culture thing, and later on in 1102 English, my TA must have been very much into that vampire culture too, because it was like modern literature, and he had us read The Vampire Lestat. We had to do our term papers on it, and the reason I bring it up is yesterday, the wife, I get home and she's watching Interview with a Vampire with Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise. And I didn't quite know what to make of the movie as I was watching it. Tom Cruise is absolutely brilliant in his role as Lestat. And Brad Pitt, believe it or not, Brad Pitt does a good job playing Louis, that character. Because Louis is all forlorn and depressive. What's fun about the whole thing, I ended up reading Vampire Lestat for school before I saw the movie Interview with a Vampire, because I was so not into it, just being a real stick in the mud for my girl, which I don't know if I should have went along with it or not. You got to be yourself, right? But when we went to the Renaissance Fair, she would dress up, all of her friends would dress up. Now, these were all dudes that were her friends, you know? Maybe I was a little bit of a cuck here. And I refused to dress up, even though all those other dudes dressed up. Should I have dressed up? And then should I have gone to those vampire parties, which later on she continued to go to after we broke up? I feel like at the time, looking back, I was being pretty much a dick. And I read the Vampire Chronicles in their entirety, and it's a real cool story the way that it's written, on account of each part of the Vampire Chronicles is written from a different perspective. So Interview with the Vampire is written from Louis' perspective, and then the Vampire Lestat refutes everything, and Lestat ends up being one of the main guys, and I want to say later on it's Armand has the perspective. It's been a long time since I've read it. Maybe too, though, I learned my lesson when the movie Queen of the Damned came out. We went to the theater to see it, hopefully with my current wife. Not that I have so many wives, but there's been a couple of cases recently when I said to her, "Hey, yeah, we saw this in the theater, Marvin's room." She's like, no, we didn't. I'm like, yeah, that was us. And then looked at the day that it came out And it would have been impossible for it to have been she and I who went and saw it at the theater. It was Dana and me. So wrap your head around that shit. Seemed to she let me slide on the situation. But seeing an Interview with a Vampire again last night made me think of these things. All of which are a pleasant subject to think back on. It's an interesting story and an interesting scenario. Part of what has me thinking about that time of my life so much is my daughter is of that same age that I would have been for that time of my life. Absolutely insane the differences between she and myself. You know, that stuff, essentially I don't have my nephews at the moment, so more or less I don't have any kids in the house right now. So when I see the video that Chafe did about social outcasts, which doesn't really pertain to me. I don't have a bunch of children that I'm teaching a lesson to. I've got one protege right now, and that's about it. But that's work related, not home related. So I don't know about the whole being king of my house, and then commenters getting on the video saying family first, versus the whole God, country, family. I'd like to think, and this has nothing to do with this video up to this point, this could be a totally different video. I want to say, and I want to still be good with God, country, family, self, still in that order. If things are right, none of those things will be in opposition to each other. But that's speaking on family. And that's just my point of view. Your mileage may vary. Right. Yep. If you haven't done so, check out Interview with a Vampire. Also, Vampire Lestat. Cool stories. I wish I could find my term papers, but I threw them all away. Looking back, I feel like I wrote some brilliant shit. How's that for humility?